What's going on, y'all? So I wanted to talk about this theory that people had about the locations that were used in the music video for Luther. Now, Kendrick Lamar had dropped Luther. We had talked about the hidden messages, but one particular thing that people are pointing out were the buildings in the video. Now, in the Luther video, there are several locations. One in particular, the one in the screen, is the American Jewish University Brandeis Barton campus. Now, what's interesting about this building is that this is where Kendrick had shot the video in multiple scenes. This building being a Jewish university, at first, it looked like there was some type of significance in regards to him using these facilities, using these buildings. Was there a purpose of it being a Jewish building? Now, a lot of people say different things. Well, this is just a popular set. A lot of people film here, and Kendrick has filmed here multiple times, multiple scenes. But the interesting part of Kendrick Lamar filming here and the building being a Jewish university, it led people to think, was the purpose of the locations and Kendrick Lamar filming there, was it to battle against Drake when he suggested that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us is allegedly anti-Semitic in the new UMG lawsuit? Drake was the one that took his legal dispute with UMG to the next level today when he talked about Kendrick Lamar and the Not Like Us record. Obviously, he had claimed things about defamation in regards to the record. It wasn't later on, as you could see by the post here by the company man, you could see that there was a part in the lawsuit in his complaint where he had said further the recordings refrain that Drake is not like us. The recording alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake is not a colleague, but a effing colonizer. The crazy part about this, though, is that fans were able to point out the building. And what if the building that Kendrick is recording at, what if Kendrick filming here at this building is to show that he's not trying to be anti-Semitic? And me recording at these locations is me showing you that I'm not. And we'll keep it alleged, but this furthers the theory when we know that Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg had did a commercial at this same location. And it just so happens that this commercial has to be about hate, no reason to hate. This happened to be a paid advertisement, and it was paid for by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. So the fact that Kendrick Lamar chose to do this music video at this building where Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady did a commercial to combat anti-Semitism, it furthers the theory that Kendrick had came here to film the music video to battle Drake's remarks in regards to the song Not Like Us being about anti-Semitism. And that had people talking even more. Kendrick's doing this music video here at this Jewish university. But another thing that I wanted to add, because we were talking about, the music video and everything in its entirety, we were talking about the hat. We had tried to figure out what was the hat that Kendrick was wearing. What was it? You could see the 0 and the dash and the 24 with the emblem at the top. Well, we think that we had found it. It looks like this was the hat that it could be that he was wearing. Because at this point, when we had found this, the hat had said Namias, Los Angeles. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. But the surname Namias is a Sephardic Jewish origin derived from the Hebrew personal name Nechima. In English, Nemiah, it means the Lord consoles or the Lord will console. Now, when we saw that Kendrick was wearing this, we thought, why would he be wearing this hat with a Hebrew saying? Jewish origin, Hebrew saying. People, when we were reacting to this live, they were saying it could just be possible that Kendrick is just referring to his beliefs. Because if you remember Damn, which is actually the anniversary as I'm filming this, shout out to Damn, April 14, 2017. In the song, Yeah, Kendrick is quoted to say, I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more. The word is only a color. It ain't facts no more. And it says Kendrick is likely identifying with the Hebrew Israelites, people of color, including Africans, Latinos, and Native Americans who believe they are descendants of Jacob and the lost tribe of Israel. So there could be the chance that Kendrick is just wearing this hat because he shares those Hebrew beliefs. Now, I haven't gone to church with Kendrick Lamar, but he stated in songs that he was an Israelite, and this falls under the Hebrew religion. But this word has a Jewish origin and is derived from the Hebrew name Nechemiah. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but how can Kendrick Lamar have any type of anti-Semitism and Not Like Us when he's actually studied words and things that are familiar with the Jewish and Hebrew language? So essentially the theory is, what if Kendrick filming at this location is to combat Drake's suggestions that Not Like Us was allegedly anti-Semitic, which it's not. And let's just get that straight, right? Not Like Us is not an anti-Semitic record. This is just Drake in his lawsuit trying to throw stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. But I just wanted to bring this up because there was a lot of people after I had did this video expressing could that be a possibility? And I thought that it was an interesting take and I wanted to explore it with y'all. Not only that, but this comes around the time of the anniversary for Damn. So I thought it was kind of like a full circle moment. And I thought that I would break this down because it was something that people were talking about in the last video that I found real interesting. I just thought that I should bring this up because it was something that people were talking about in the last video. And this theory references a song that Kendrick had dropped on the album today about 7 years ago. But I break this down with the utmost respect. Shout out to anybody from any point of view, from any perspective. I love all of y'all. And I'd like to thank anybody in the comment section who had brought up this theory. I thought it was an interesting take that people had talked about for the placement and the buildings in the Luther music video. Much respect, much love. Y'all tell me how you feel about this theory in the comments. Real quick, guys, before I go, I just wanted to take this time out to thank Kendrick Lamar for the release of this album. Damn album had just released the day of this recording, which is April 14th. 2017 was the year of its release. And I just wanted to just talk about this album because of the anniversary, as well as it tying into the theory that we had just talked about with the song Yeah, one of my favorite records. If I have to say right now, the 3 tracks that I like, my top 5, I'll give a top 5. You know, we'll leave it at 5 because I hate doing 3. But my top 5 from this album right now would have to be in no specific order, really. But if I had to choose 5 tracks that are my favorite from this album, I would have to go with Yeah, Fear, Feel, Pride, and God. I think those 5 right here, right now, are the ones that I could listen to constantly. I've replayed the most. I've replayed Fear probably the most out of every single song on here. I play Yeah constantly just because it's a short song and it's real catchy. Yeah, yeah, buzzing. You know, it's just a very catchy song. That's my top 5. I think if you could tell me your top 5 in the comments, I would really like to hear it. Let me know which songs from this album are your top 5. Which songs do you think are the best from this album? Where were you at when this album had dropped? What were you doing? Does this album remind you of a time and place in your life? I know I was in a very pivotal moment when this album had came out. So hearing this album always takes me back to that time. This album helped me get through a lot. The music, the song titles, the emotions, everything that he shares in this album really helped me during a time back in 2017. And now that I look back at it, I think that Good Kid, Mad City, definitely a classic, but Damn gotta be a classic also. Maybe in a decade, this album would be considered a classic if you don't think it's a classic already. But I think it was an instant classic the minute that it dropped. I think all the songs have a very deep meaning. Every title of the song is very important, and the message in it is important. And y'all tell me how you feel about this album when it came out. Y'all tell me y'all's top 5. And shout out to Kendrick Lamar, shout out to Damn, shout out to Yeah, all that, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it a legend.